So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shakti Flow. Let's take a moment to sit, connect, breathe. Remember that when you close your eyes and you take a breath, if we do that every single time, we start to build a memory within the body of settling. And that works here on the mat, but it also works anywhere. You take that nice deep breath and close your eyes and sort of stop for a moment and let yourself connect to your own body rhythms, your own biorhythms. And as we begin a new year, I mentioned this last week, we're in this threshold of time where we're transitioning from one time of year, if you will, or year, into another. And for some people, it's a couple days. For some people, it's a month. It's really different for everybody. And when we can pause for a moment and notice, maybe set intention, and we start to think of new beginnings during this threshold. And this class today, let's let it be a new beginning. How can we feel in our body in a new way? How can we move in a new way? Not just fall into autopilot. And so I want you today to take your hands on your belly. Let your thumbs be somewhere around your navel. Palms are a little bit lower, hand on top of hand. And I want you to breathe here. Let your breath be nice and neutral. Try not to overwork it. Breathing in and out through the nose. And there's this gentle expanding and contracting that's happening as we breathe here in the belly. And then slide your hands up a little bit so they're closer to your solar plexus. And you could even separate your hands so the heel of your hands are closer to the sides of your body. Breathe up here. Noticing if you can feel the ribs move at all. You're right around your diaphragm, so what's going on here? Can you let go of the belly piece and breathe where your hands are now? Again, just allowing the expansion and the contraction, natural rhythm, natural biorhythm of your own breathing. And then from here, take your hands above at your upper chest, right around your collarbones. Lay your hands on your sort of upper ribs and breathe there. Now, this is the upper lobes of the lungs. It's quite challenging to feel a lot of movement here, but just notice. Most of us have a lot of restriction in this part of the body, and it's harder to feel. Plus, the lobes are not as big up here. But we do want to encourage the breath to move in all three places. And so from here, let's drop the hands and breathe a nice full, what we call a yogic breath, belly, ribs, and upper chest. See if you can touch all those places. A little bit in the belly, a little bit in the ribs, and a little bit in the upper chest. You don't necessarily need to do it one and then the next and then the next. You can do them all together. Just notice if you can feel a little bit in each area. And then continue here just for another moment, but as you're inhaling, can you pause at the top of the inhale? It doesn't feel like a holding of the breath, it's really just a pause. And exhale when you feel ready. We're moving the energy a little bit upward, just enough so that we've got some energy for class. We have different energy patterns in the body. They're called vayus. And this one's called apana vayu, moving the energy upward. Now, too much up here and you start to get a little bit anxious, so don't stay up there too long. Just a little bit. And take one more nice, easy breath. Pausing at the top just for that moment. And then letting it all go. Bring hands to heart center. Let go of all of that. Remember, when your hands touch your breastbone, that's the opportunity for you to float the front of your body upward. It's, again, an intention, not an effort. You might notice your collarbones or your shoulders released, and then you can bow your head slightly, holding on to whatever reason you're here. Let it be a deeper intention, like we talked about last week, that sankalpa, that deeper desire. What is it that you really need? And then take one more breath. And then exhale, lower yourself down. All right, so we're going to start lying down on our backs. I don't know why I put my glasses on. I'm not going to need them down there. Lying down on your backs. And we're going to start with knees bent. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Once you get down there, I don't want you to do a lot of adjusting. I just want you to notice how you lay down. Most of us are crooked. Most of us need to adjust. And so once you notice that, just go ahead and do that if you need to. And so with the legs in a comfortable position, I want you to take your hands where they were on your belly before. Take a breath and arch your lower back away from the floor on purpose. Exhale, pull your back down to the floor on purpose. Feel the core engage. Can you keep the engagement and just release off that lower back a little? So typically what will happen is if the lower back relaxes, the stomach relaxes. So I want you to find the stomach contraction when you push the lower back to the floor. But then I want you to see if you can release that lower back slightly. From here, take your right leg and then your left leg up. So you're like upside down tabletop. Bring your hands to the fronts of your thighs, not to the backs of your legs, fronts of your thighs. And just gently push into your hands. Resist with your legs. And if you couldn't feel your core kick in before, it should now. Shoulders are relaxed, jaw is soft. Find your pelvic floor muscles, the muscles that hold or contract your urine, and see if you can draw that just slightly upward. And you might notice another contraction. Breathe here. If you push too hard, you're going to work too hard and you won't be able to stay. I'm trying to get you to turn on those deep muscles in a neutral spine. We're going to work with that a little bit more today. Take one more breath. And then let your feet come to the floor. Swish your knees back and forth a couple times. Let go of anything that's tight. And then we're going to come back to center. Start easy. Right leg only up. Right hand on your leg. So we're going to keep this connection. We're going to keep the lower back in neutral. We're going to keep the core engaged. And I want you to slide your left arm back and your left leg down. So it's on the floor. Don't lift it yet. Pushing into your right hand. So we're doing the same thing we were just doing, only it's one-sided. See if you can find your pelvic floor. Draw it in and up. Pressing gently into your hand. Keeping that core engagement. Good. Release and come back to center. Both knees bent. And then let's try the other side. So left leg on up and left hand on your left leg. Push a little bit, just enough. So if you do it too hard, your whole body's going to get super tired. Enough to engage, and then slide the leg down all the way down. Reach the arm back behind you. Keep the leg on the floor and just push into your left leg, left hand. Notice, like I can feel that working, even though I'm not working real hard. So this might be where you want to be and work on this. And then go ahead and relax. Swish your legs around. And then we're going to bring it up a notch. So if it feels like, oh, I don't want to do anything harder, you're going to repeat what we just did. Okay? So 2 legs up, 2 hands on. We just did this a minute ago. You can probably guess what's going to happen. You're going to keep your right hand on your right leg. You're going to stretch your left arm and your left leg apart. This time, don't put it on the floor. Keep pressing into your right hand. Can you find your pelvic floor here? Come back to center. Left hand on left thigh. Slide your right arm and your right leg apart. Finding all the pieces. So your hands working against the leg to keep the core engaged. Your lower back is in neutral. Your core body is engaged. Your lower pelvic floor is active. Come back to center. And rest. All right, I felt that, so I'm hoping you felt it. We wake up these parts of the body that we tend to have a lot of stickiness, tightness, and also weakness. Cross your right leg over your left, nice tight cross. Arms are going to come away from you on the floor, just palms down. Find your sort of anchor point. You're going to bring your legs up over your body. So your feet are no longer on the floor. And we're going to start to twist right and left using your core body. So right away ask yourself, is my lower back pushing into the floor? Try not to do that so hard. And then rock over to your right side, maybe about halfway down. As you exhale, pull yourself back up. And then rock over to the left side, about halfway down. And then come back up to center. So as much as you can, don't use your arms. Make it come from your core body. And you might notice that when you go one way, it feels fairly easy, but when you go the other way, it might feel a little bit harder. And that's the unique symmetry in the body. We all have it. Exhaling when you come up. One more time to the other side. And then stay here. Stretch your legs up to the ceiling. Press your heels up. If that feels hard, hold your legs. Reach your heels up to the ceiling. Push. Open all your toes. Make your legs work. And then cross left leg over right. We'll do the same thing on this side. So arms open. Take a breath. Exhale, go to the left. Exhale, come back up. Shh, I said it wrong. Inhale, go over. And exhale, come back up. And so find your own unique rhythm. We're doing 3 on each side. This may or may not feel challenging, but what I'm trying to get you to do is kind of kick on some of those deeper muscles that we use when we move around. The exhale helps to draw in and up the muscles to the core, so it actually helps you move through that. And last time over here. And stretch your legs up to the ceiling, heels up. Again, you can hold your legs if that feels like you need that support. The heels are pushing to the ceiling. Try to get off your lower back a tiny little bit. It's a small movement. Spread open all your toes. If you feel strong, arms go over your head. Now that's an if. That's not a have to. So you're holding this neutral spine with your legs up in the air and your arms over your head. It's not for the light of heart. Take one more breath. Exhale, let everything come down. Palms on the floor, feet in neutral. If you have a block, I want you to use it. Put it between your thighs. Walk your feet so they're toward each other and feet are directly under your knees. Palms are straight down here. So you're going to push into your feet, lift your hips, and bring your arms up over your head. So this is the last one we're going to do here to help stabilize the core. When we're up here, I want you to feel your glutes tighten, and I want you to feel your core tighten. Exhale, lower down. Now let's do that 4 or 5 times. So just nice and slow. And when you get to the top, squeeze the block, feel your core and your glutes engage. That's not a common direction from the yoga world, but the reality is you are using your glutes when you do this, and if you're not, you're overworking your hamstrings and your glutes just get flabby. And down. Got 2 more, nice and slow. Really focus at the top. The belly is coming in and the glutes are coming up. And lower down. And we'll do 1 more. Pushing through your whole foot, both sides. Glutes engage, legs engage, core is engaged. Stay up here for a moment. Take a breath. And if you can, keep your arms where they are and start to lower your hips down. Now this is where we're going to get into a little bit of an action in the shoulders and the ribs. So find your way. See if you can hold it. Get all the way down. And then breathe into your side ribs here. Like you're trying to really puff up your chest and your side body. Keep squeezing the block. Next exhale, bring your arms down. Take the block away. All right, from here, let's roll over to the side, come up into tabletop. Now you should feel pretty warmed up at this point. Different way of warming up. So traditional cat and cow here. Spread apart your fingers, toes turned under. Think pubic bone to the wall behind you, heart to the wall in front of you. Big stretch here, inhale, and then flip feet, pubic bone towards your head, head towards your pubic bone. And keep going. So we're just going to move our body just a little bit here before we go into the next little segment. And that'll feel good after what you just were doing. Last round. Pubic bone, heart away from each other. Pubic bone and heart or head toward each other. And then find a neutral position. Toes can be turned under or straight down. Just make sure you're being purposeful with your feet. Slide your left leg back and your right arm forward. So we were doing something similar to this when we were lying on our back. And I want you to bend your back leg, the one that you've got in the air. Turn your thumb to the ceiling and see if you can lift those 2 points up a little bit higher. Stay with the belly, stay with the breathing. Exhale, lower down. Switch your sides. Turn the thumbs to the ceiling, that'll clear your shoulder head. Flex your knee so that your foot is facing the ceiling. And then see, can you go up a little bit You might move a centimeter. Don't worry about it. Pull the belly up and in. Really stay anchored. Good. And release. All right. So walk your hands a little bit forward. Shift your weight into your hands. We're going to bend the elbows a little bit here. Just a tiny little bit. And look, squeeze your elbows into your body. And then straighten them. And bend. Now, for people that have shoulder issues or somebody who doesn't feel as strong, you might be here. Maybe you can bend a little lower. And push. What you want to do is feel controlled. Bend a little bit. Don't go all the way down unless you're supersonic. No. Maybe you're a little bit lower. I want your elbows and your shoulders parallel if you go all the way down. Elbows and shoulders parallel. We got one more. You don't have to do it at all. You can rest. And then push yourself up and back to child's pose. Turn your hands upside down, pump your fingers. When you curl your hands like a fist, curl your backs of the hands off of the floor. Keep the wrist on the floor. Stretch open, all your fingernails touch. Curl into a fist and curl in. And then stretch. One more time. And stretch. Good. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of core work again with your blocks. So I want one underneath one knee. We've done this before. And one underneath the opposite hand. So your knees are next to each other, but your hips are crooked. Your hands are next to each other, but your shoulders are crooked. The knee that you've got on the block, if you turn your toe under and kind of give that a stability, it'll be easier to do. You're going to lift your hand and your knee off the floor so that you're hovering in the same level as your hand and knee on the block. Lower back down. Lift and hover. So I'm not bending my arm. I'm coming from my upper body. This is not for the faint of heart. And down. A little bit of a brain teaser. Hold here and see if you can stretch those arms and legs out. So we're doing the same thing we were just doing, but we're elevated. If you think you can do it, you can take your knee, foot off the floor. So you don't have that stability anymore. Thumbs can reach to the sky to clear the shoulder. Find your balance point, lift your belly, release and come down. Did you fall off your block? Switch your sides. So your kitty corner, cattywampus as we call it, on purpose. One knee on the block, one knee next to it on the floor, toes turned under of the foot that's on the block. Hand on the block, hand on the floor. Just pause there for a moment because it'll feel weird in your body because you just did that other side. As you feel ready, float your hand and your knee up parallel to your other block height. And then lower back down. Try not to bend your elbows. Up. This is one of the best actions I know of that helps this cross-diagonal pattern in your back body from shoulder to opposite hip. One more time, lift. Now stretch the arm and leg apart. Turn the thumb to the sky, toes to the floor. And if you feel like you can, take your toes off the floor so that nothing's touching. You'll get wobbly for sure, don't worry about it. Ooh, take one more breath. And then exhale, lower yourself down. Take the blocks away. Going to move to our first downward facing dog. So wider hands for the first one, wider feet for the first one, and up you go. Reaching with your first finger forward, pressing outer heels back and down. Sitting bones go to the sky. And now from here, can you bend your right knee and straighten down your left leg, left leg heel. Really focus on the outer edge of your foot, all the way up the outer edge of your leg, pressing with both arms equally. And then switch your sides, left knee bends, right leg presses back. Really feel the difference there. Nice long spine, head between your ears, and your ears between your arms. Press both heels down. I'm laughing at myself in my language. And then keep your feet where they are. Walk your hands backwards so that you get standing on your feet at the back of your mat. Soften knees enough to release. Breathe. Now go ahead and sit your hips back a little bit like you're trying to sit in a chair. And it's going to naturally set your weight in your legs. From there, I want you to reach back behind you, turn the palms to the floor, and you're going to roll your shoulders back on your body so your spine's nice and long. I think of skiing here, yeah? At the top of the hill. Stay with those shoulders, stay with those arms, and then push yourself up to standing. Good. So you should be in a wide-legged Tadasana. Just bring your feet underneath you, and there you go. Let me adjust the screen. All right, how we doing? How we doing? You feel pretty warmed up? That was a lot of time on the floor. So go ahead and grab your weights. Let's start with light weights just to get our body moving. Or no weights. You don't need any weights. I forgot to grab mine, so hang on. So simple, easy, nothing real hard first round. So we're going to stand in Tadasana. I'm standing sideways to show you. With your shoulders, if they're forward, can you see how my arms move forward? I want your shoulders to the back of you. Arms should hang right next to your side. From here, bend your elbows about 90 degrees. From here, soften your knees into a bent-legged position and lean forward. So we're in chair pose. Squeeze your upper arms into your back, into your sides, and then press your arms straight back and bring your arms to your shoulders. Now your lightweight could be whatever. My lightweight is 6 pounds. Your lightweight could be 1 pound. Go slow. Pay attention to your shoulders and your neck here. My upper arm is not moving. My upper arm is trying to stay real quiet, squeezing the upper arm into the ribs, and I'm moving just from my elbow, working the triceps and biceps. The lower you squat, the harder it is. So find a place where you can be. And a warm-up set will be more reps because you've got a lighter weight. We worked the triceps just a little bit when we were on the floor. Let's do 2 more. Neck nice and long. Try not to move your upper arms. It's hard. You want to throw your arms around. Good. And then come to center. Stand all the way up, weights at your chest. From here, I want you to keep your feet neutral. We're going to go to the opposite sides of the body. So from here, I want you to bend into the squat and go to one side of your knee. And then come back up to your shoulders or chest, and then other side. Now what I want you to do while we're going is not let your hips swing around. Try to keep your hips in one spot, and they go just up and down. And down, and up. So it's not hard. I'm just asking you to rotate your torso a little bit from one side to the other, without moving your hips. Women are really good at that. They'll swing their hips around and make it feel like a dance. Try not to. One more time on the other side. Good. And then relax. Turn the palms open. Jeannie, this is where you might put your weights down. You'll see. Open. Close. Open. Close. So try to keep your wrists in a neutral position. And the next time you open, stay there and bring your hands to your shoulders. Strong legs, close, open, shoulders. Notice how I'm not moving my upper arms. Close, open, shoulders. Good. So we're doing internal, external rotation with a bicep curl. Up, down, close. Last week we did a lot of hips and a lot of back work. So today's a little bit more arms. Up, down, touch. How you feeling in this one? Good, okay. And touch, open. Last one. Release all the way down. 5 of these, all the way up. All the way down, all the way up. So your arms are in external rotation while you're doing this bicep curl. Up, down, one more time. Up and down. Nice job, relax. Whew. Now you can keep your weights by your side or you can put them against your body. Either way, your biceps are going to hold that. So if your biceps are tired, let them come down. Bring your heels to touch. Toes are a little bit apart. Shoulders are on your back. Squeeze your glutes a little bit and lift your heels so they stay together. Tap down, lift up. Tap down. If you were a ballerina or a ballet dancer, this will feel familiar. Tap and lift, 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 lift. Keep your heels touching. Tap, lift, 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 lift. Tap. Woo! I'm on carpet, so it's harder for me. If you're on a flat floor, it's a little easier. Just keep trying to keep your heels together while you're lifting like a little elevator. Can you keep your glutes engaged? Can you keep your core body engaged? One more. And rest. Did anybody find that hard? Yeah? Alrighty. So stand in an easier warrior one position. So it's not a big long movement. It can be whatever you want it to be. Back foot's on the floor. Double up your weight or drop one weight. We're going to go to the outside of this front knee. So the other hand that's not doing anything, put it behind your back. And then this arm's going to come to your shoulder. Notice how you're still in that bicep action. From here, you're going to come to the outside of the knee. We did this once already. And shoulder. So you're going to lean and rotate. And up and shoulder. A little bit harder of a movement pattern. Now you can stay right here, or you can push overhead. Janie, don't do it today. You just keep doing what we were just doing. Down across, up to shoulder if you're doing it overhead. You can always lessen the weight. And you might notice that when you did it the first time, this movement pattern, you were like, that feels kind of weird, but now it actually feels good. Because your body's doing it. Do you have your core engaged? One more time. And if you're doing it overhead. Now come to your chest. Weights come together right at the base of your body. Come off your back heel, twisting your foot to the ceiling. You're going to shift your weight and pick up this back leg. And I want you to flex that knee like you did before. Push the foot back behind you, lift your heart a little bit. So I went from there to there, and I'm pushing my foot like I'm trying to push it to the wall behind me. So that's glute work again, standing on one leg. Release, bring your knee forward and down. In the middle of those two, we're going to do rows. So sitting in your squat, weights right in front of your knees. You're just going to row back and together. Row back. Now find your core. Think about a big belt right around your whole middle. And that belt got cinched in another inch. Find your pelvic floor. It'll turn on your lower deep core muscles. And we'll do one more. Shoulder blades squeeze and come to standing. All right, all that on the other side. So take your other foot back. Remember, your stance is your own. So if you take a big, long stance, you just have a lot further area to move around in. Back heel down on the floor, 2 weights in this straight arm leg. And again, your body is straight, your shoulder's not forward, it's back, and you start at your shoulder. Other hand behind you, behind your lower back. And then take it to your knee. If you can go to the outside of the knee, do that. And then come back to your shoulder. So this is a bicep curl on this arm. It's deceiving because you're not paying attention to that. It's core rotational movement and it's stability. Next time, if you're doing it, arm goes up and overhead. Push, down, crossover. You don't have to do the push overhead, it's okay. I'm just adding it for those who want it. Cross over. Up and down. One more time. Cross and over. Now bring your weights to your chest. I like to hold them with one in each hand. Bring them right in. And then pick up your back heel. Shift forward into this front leg and pick up your back leg so that you're in that bent-legged position. Push your foot backward like you're trying to touch the wall, but don't straighten your leg. And lift your chest up. So again, you go from this sort of crouched in position and you're trying to push and push and open and open. Use your glutes. Don't straighten your leg. You lose it then. Stand strong in your standing leg. Inhale, bring your knee forward without falling over. And then exhale, foot down. Stand in Tadasana. Second round, bend your knees. Weights in front of your knees. This time, turning your weights end to end. As you pull, turn your palms forward, shoulder blades really squeeze, and then go back to thumbs end to end. 2. Sit well in your legs. Find that belt that goes all the way around your torso. Tighten it an inch. Lift your pelvic floor. And one more time. And pull. And then bring yourself to standing. All right, so now we've got weights in our hands. I want you to turn your heels in again. Shoulders on your back. Think about those heels. So lift, 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 heels stay touching, and then tap the floor. Lift, 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 tap. Try to spend little time on the floor, a lot of time in the air. Working on balance, but we're also working on inner thighs, glutes, core. Up, up, up. While we're doing this, make sure shoulders stay back. You're not letting your shoulders drift forward. Up, up, up. We'll do one more. Can you do it better the second time around? And rest. All right, weights down. Come to the top of your mat. Hands at your heart. Just pause here for a moment. Maybe even close your eyes if you feel stable. Noticing. And your breathing is probably a little bit elevated, so notice where the breath is moving in the body. Is it in the belly? Is it in the ribs? Is it way up in the upper chest? Try to tap into those 3 areas if you can. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up over your head. Big stretch. Maybe separate the arms a little bit. Think pubic bone down, heart up. Pubic bone down, heart up. Really think about these front points and open them. Exhale, hands come back to heart. Bend knees to come forward and down. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen. Exhale all the way down. Step back one leg. So we're in a lunge position. Remember, you're always welcome to use your blocks here, right? So we're going to straighten this front leg. You can come up on your fingers. You can actually make your blocks higher. Straighten your front leg as much as you can. Back heel is still neutral, but it might be off the floor. Bring your heart forward. Enjoy that stretch. And then from here, I want you to bend your knee again. Keep your right hand or opposite hand on your block or the floor. That same hand on your leg. I didn't call the side, so you might be different than me. Now think about your core. I want you to pull that belt in tighter. Turn your belly to the left or to the front leg. And then maybe your hand goes to the ceiling. Now I want you to think a lot about your middle body turning. And then as you do that, think about your back heel lifting. And as you do that, think about your top shoulder leaning back. So you've got the belly turning, ribs turning, back heel lifting, twisting, back in the core again. Exhale, hand down. Woo, step forward, switch your sides. And so from here, block or not, we're going to straighten the front leg. And again, we're very asymmetrical, sorry. And you might notice, wow, one side felt really easy and the other side feels really hard. Try to imagine your spine being as long as possible. So I don't want you to come down here because we're moving into a twist and I need your spine to be long. Knee over ankle on this side. Hand lands on the block or the floor. Right hand or hand on your thigh. Now before you start doing anything, take a breath. Exhale, tighten that belt and turn towards that bent leg side. Go as far as you can here, and if your shoulders are stacked, your arm can come up. If that feels like it's too much for your shoulder, arm stays on your thigh. Now keep thinking about the tightening of the belt and turning. The ribs open, the top shoulder opens, and then maybe you're leaning back with that top shoulder. Now on this side, I feel pretty restricted in my arm, so I'm going to lower my arm down so I can focus. Lift your left heel or your back leg heel up, turning torso open, shoulder leans back as if you're taking this shoulder and moving it back to the wall behind you. Lots going on here. Front knee stays over front ankle, so keep an eye on it. Exhale, hand down. Get rid of the blocks and step back to downward facing dog. So this is only the second dog pose. So you can decide to do it regular or wide-legged and wide-armed. I can't tell you how excited I was to learn and have permission to do things differently based on our bodies. That everything doesn't have to look exactly like Mr. Iyengar says it does. Mr. Iyengar had really long legs and really long arms, and he made everything look super easy. Inhale, come forward to plank. Breathe. Can you find the belt? Can you wrap it around your middle? Can you find your pelvic floor? Take a breath, one more. And then knees to the mat. Now wherever your hands are, if your hands are out like mine, you can turn your hands just a tiny little bit open. And then as you start to come down, do what we did in the beginning. You want to end up elbows by your ribs somewhere without strain, and then pushing it away. So maybe your elbows are going to bend an inch. Maybe they're going to come all the way down by your ribs. Don't come all the way to the floor. We've got one more. Hold on to your belt while you go all the way to the floor and down. All right. So come up on your elbows. If that feels like it's too much, lower yourself down by widening your arms. And grab your elbows. Turn your toes under. Press through both legs. So you want to engage the quadriceps, the knees come off the floor, your glutes engage. And then I want you to pull with your elbows. And here's where I want you to think about your pubic bone really pushing back and your heart really moving forward. Keep pressing back with your heels. So this is a stabilizing movement. Breathe. Nice, long, full breath. Can you feel the action in your belly? So a lot of times we can't get the core muscles going because there's too much tightness in the flexor muscles, the psoas and the hip flexors, and even in the stomach itself. So just really notice that here. Push through your heels, glutes engaged, belly's really long. Drop your chin. One more breath. And then as you exhale, I want you to lower your head down on the mat or on your hands. Keep your belly and your pelvis down and bend both knees. Feet are facing the ceiling. Now as you press down your pelvis, you might notice your knees float a little bit off the floor. Please don't worry about high. And think about how strong that action is. So I'm not asking you to bring your feet towards you. I'm asking you to bring your feet to the ceiling as you press your pubic bone into the mat. Relax, let it go. Take a moment. And then we're going to do one more. I want you to take your hands down along your body, palms down. Forehead can touch the floor for a moment. Bend both knees again. Flex your feet so your feet are facing the ceiling. Now as you press your pelvis down, you'll notice that action in the knees starting to float up. Can you lift your head and shoulders? Can you lift your hands and keep them palms down? So you're really working on pushing the pelvis down while you lift your feet, shoulders, head, and arms. So whole back body movement. Breathe. Reminding myself as much as you. Keep turning your thumbs open, palms open. One more breath. And then exhale down. Oh, goodness. Press your hands up away from, press yourself up away from the floor. Find your hips back on your heels, but stay lifted so you're up on your forearms. And let yourself recover a moment here. Okay. So, we're going to end up on the floor. We're going to do a little bit more tricep work and some chest work on the floor so you can have your weights somewhere near you that you can grab. Alrighty? And you can grab a lightweight or a heavy weight, whichever it is you choose to do. We're going to keep the arms in a lined up position, so you're not going to open your arms out to the side, so just so that you know that. And we go back to the beginning, finding ourselves on the mat with the pelvis neutral, the shoulders neutral, and then whatever's in the middle. So remember how you can check. Go way up on your tailbone so your back is way up off the floor. Go all the way down, flat back, contract your core, and then find a little bit of softening behind that lower back. So that's really hard. This is why Pilates teaches it the way they do. They push the back into the floor so you can get that engagement, and then you can work, right? But here's what happens. Your back learns how to be flat. It doesn't learn how to be a neutral. It's not a good thing. So I don't mind if you do that to find it, but then see if you can keep a hold of the contraction while you come up into a little bit of a neutral position. Grab a hold of your weights. Elbows are by your side. This is what we've been doing all along. You can take your weights to touch. Head stays on the floor. You're going to go up and down, push and lower. So this one can handle a little heavier weight if your shoulders don't mind it. And down. So we're working anterior shoulder, a little bit of the chest wall, and triceps. Next time you come up, stay. Keep your weights as they are and bend your elbows so your weights come over the top of your head, and push your hands straight up. Bend, keeping your core body engaged. Are you still remembering that piece? 2. Down. And 3. Now, after this 4th one, we're going to combine it. So lower elbows toward the mat. Push weights up. Bend elbows so your weights come over your head. Push weights up. Down. So the weights stay stuck together. They're like one piece. Keep your elbows lined up with your shoulders so they don't wing out to the walls. And down, and we've got one more. Push. Up. Push. And down. Great. Put your weights down. All right. So go back to your brain. Think about what we did in the beginning. We had one hand on the same leg. This time, we're going to take one hand on the opposite leg. So lift your left leg, take your hand on your right hand on your left leg, and you're going to push a little bit like you were doing before. And you can stay right here and work on this. It's a cross diagonal pattern. It's pulling in the obliques a little bit. If you want the next level, take your left arm up and your right knee up. Push with your hand and your leg. Don't forget that part. And we're going to move the arm and leg apart as you push into your opposite leg. Stay and breathe. Keep pushing. Keep holding that neutral. Keep finding your pelvic floor. Anybody feeling this? My body's shaking, so I think yes. Come back to center. Switch your arms so your other hand is on your opposite leg. If you're doing this part with me here, otherwise down on the floor, press hand and leg together while you stretch the other two long apart. Keep pushing. Keep reaching. Don't touch the floor. Stay in your neutral. Stay in your corset, your little belt around your middle. And then come back to center. Give them a little hug. All right. So, grand finale here. And it isn't necessarily harder, but you're tired, so you might be challenging yourself a little bit differently. So knees come up and hands come up, shoulders on the mat, flex feet. We're just going to go back and forth. Opposite arm and leg come apart. Opposite arm and leg come together. Now remember the corset, remember the belt. Remember you're still in neutral spine. You're not pressing your lower back into the floor. Remember to find your pelvic floor. Harder when you're moving around. Now if you're supersonic and you want something harder, feet and hands come together. Both of them move apart at the same time. Don't lose the core piece, which is your belt around the middle and your pelvic floor, your neutral spine. Some people find 2 arms and 2 legs easier because you're more symmetrical. That might be Not true. Last one. Knees to chest. Give them a hug. And breathe. Little rock and roll. All right. Feet on the mat. Let your knees touch. So you're internally rotating those legs. Hands on your belly. Remember we did this in the beginning. Breathe into your hands. So really feel the expansion of your abdomen. And most everyone, if you've been practicing at all, can do this action. And now take your hands up around the lower part of your ribs, right where your diaphragm, your fingertips are near your solar plexus, and breathe there. And again, your lower belly will be involved, just don't make it as involved. Try to get the ribs to move. This is something I've been working on myself, because one of the reasons I think I ended up in the ER was because my diaphragm went into contraction, went into spasm. So I'm really working with strengthening it, because the reason you get a spasm in your muscles is because they're weak and they can't handle the load. And then finally, take your hands up over your, up near your upper collarbones, over your breast if you have them. Fingers near the center, and breathe up there. And finding that nice, smooth breath, keeping knees together. And you just can notice in your own body what feels like real strong, what actions do you really have a connection to, and what feels maybe a little bit weaker. And then finally, one hand on your upper chest, one hand on your belly. Breathe through it all. And so you might notice when you're breathing through your chest, upper chest, the collarbones move apart and up, while your belly and your ribs expand. Taking that nice, smooth breath. Try not to work too hard. And after your next exhale, you can go ahead and relax. Moving into Shavasana from here. So legs can go down. Remember, you can put something under your thighs. Try that idea of, rather than putting something under your knees, move it up right underneath your hamstring, right where your hamstring meets your buttocks. And it will help to release your hip flexors and your lower belly muscles in your lower back. So that's just something to try. Something under your head if your neck feels like it wants that support. Cover yourself up with a blanket if you have one. If it's 90 degrees where you are, maybe you don't need it. And then you just take that nice deep breath, inhaling, and as you exhale, soften into stillness. Take a longer and deeper breath. And then start to slowly move your body. Stretch, wiggle, finding your way back. And when you feel ready, you can bend your knees, gently roll to a side. Pause there for a moment or two before coming up to sitting. Once you're seated, hands come again to the breastbone. As we did in the beginning, the breastbone or the front body floats upward, softening shoulders, bowing head. And gratitude, as always, for our time together on the mat, our deep body wisdom and guiding light. May our light always shine brightly, and may we always see the light in each other. Namaste.